I don't know what to say. I kind of just want to say, like, bear with me, because I might stutter a lot as I go through this, because it's kind of hard to talk about. But then again, let me adjust this camera. But then again, I think it's worth talking about, because I always feel like I suppress this story. I never, I mean, I guess I don't have any obligations to share it, but I kind of feel like it might help someone else. And yeah, so here we go. Basically, when I was 15 years old, going on 16, I think I was 16 when I got pregnant. I started messing with this guy. It was just a high school fling. It was kind of like, you know, he was already out of high school. I was messing with an older guy. Not that much older, but he had already graduated. And I literally only would see him at night, and we would, like, you know, do the nasty and stuff like that. And, you know, I was just being a fast ass teenager. And I don't know, I got pregnant, but I wasn't really sure if the baby was his, because, like, we had broken up for a little bit, and I started talking to someone else, and I only slept with this guy like once, maybe twice, I don't know, just once. And what happened? I didn't actually know who the father was, so that's kind of embarrassing to, like, tell my mom. I didn't actually tell her that I didn't know who the father was. I didn't even actually tell her that I was pregnant. She just assumed that I was, because at the time I was working at Sonic, and I guess my stomach was getting kind of big, but I just thought it was because I was eating a shit ton, which of course it started to make sense later. So she made me go to the hospital, and they told me I was pregnant. And when I tell you that I fucking ran out of that hospital, I was fucking crying. I was like, nah, like, I can't do this. Like, there's no fucking way I'm doing this. I'm totally fucking mess up my plans, even though I really didn't have plans for after high school. Like, I just, like, thought maybe I'll go to the military, maybe I'll just go to college or whatever. But either way, I was gonna fuck some shit up. So I don't know. I just got really scared. So, and I didn't know who the father was again. So I just picked one. Dumbass decision. I fucking picked a baby daddy. I'm just like, you're it. So one was light skinned, one was dark skinned. I picked the dark skinned one, and I don't really know why, because I had been hanging out with him, and I didn't even tell the other baby's father about it. And disclaimer, I may laugh a lot during this story, but really I think it's kind of a nervous laugh, because I'm not proud of any of this shit. Just know that I'm not proud of it. And to all my, you know, baby fathers that might be watching, or potential baby daddies, I'm sorry. Which I probably already told them sorry, so it's fine. Anyways, I started hanging out with the one that I picked, the baby daddy that I picked. And I even went to his mom's house, and she's like, are you sure this is my son's baby? This has happened to him before. And I'm like, yeah, totally, yeah, totally your son. I even showed her ultrasound pictures. I really was not sure at this time, but as time started to go by, I started, like, second guessing whether he was actually the child's father. So I just told him that it wasn't, because I didn't want anybody involved. I didn't want to hurt anyone. I didn't want to seem like a whore, because I wasn't. The timing was just super close. I don't know if that makes you a hoe. I don't really care. At the time, it just happened. So then he didn't believe that the baby wasn't hidden. He's like, prove it. I'm like, well, I already had the testing done, and I told him what kind of testing I had done. I totally made up some shit just because I didn't expect him to, like, want me to prove it. You know, normally in high school, you're like, thank God it's not mine, you know? So I was shocked that he wanted me to prove it, but I never actually proved it. I just told him I got a test done when I really didn't. I know that's, like, fucked up, but mind you, I'm 16, I'm dumb as hell, so I'm not really thinking, you know, this stuff clearly. So then, what happened after that? I just went through high school. I felt like just kind of alone. They had, like, this pregnancy group of teenagers that were pregnant. I didn't want to be a part of that, because in my mind, I was just like, I'm not keeping this baby. I'm not proud of anything. I'm just, like, totally depressed about this whole shit. I didn't want to attach feelings to it. I remember going down to pick out like adoptive families, and I even was rash with that. I was just like, I just want them to have good jobs, you know, be black, only because I don't want the baby to be confused, or, you know, when he comes out, he probably already have questions, you know. And I remember that day like it was yesterday. I was in the delivery room. My mom was just starting to be like all excited, and I was just like, dude, like, why are you excited? I'm about to deliver this baby and give the baby to the adoptive parents. Like, stop telling everyone in the family. I was so pissed when she did that, because I was just not proud of that. I was just like, I don't want everybody to know about this disaster of a thing I did. Now, mind you, this is my thinking then, like very toxic thinking, very immature, very sad way of thinking. But I mean, it's what I felt at the time. And I remember handing him over to the adoptive parents, and I never had any feelings at that time. I think I was just numb to everything. I didn't tell the original baby father, I didn't tell the actual father who the child was. I was really fucked up about that, and that still fucks me up to this day, because when it was time, when they asked me did I know who the father was at the time of you know, signing over my rights, I just like lied and told them I didn't, because I didn't want them to search for him. Like, how fucked up a person do you have to be to do that? I just didn't want anyone else hurt by this. I didn't think that he was gonna care. I didn't think that, I just didn't think anybody would care. I didn't think that he would help me, because we only had like a sexually based relationship. I just wanted it to be gone. Like, I don't know how fucked up that sounds, and I actually do know how fucked up that sounds, but I just did not want the issue. I felt like the baby is the issue. I don't want anybody to struggle. I don't want to struggle. I've seen the single mom struggle. I just don't want it. I just didn't. And I never thought about how much it would scar him, scar even the person that I alleged to be the baby father, just any of that. I'm not sure if I had the capacity to do so at 16. So once I gave the baby up for adoption, my mom cried about it. It took me months to cry about it. I went to the military eventually, because I didn't know what the fuck else I was gonna do in my life. I just didn't want to go to school. You know, I was grateful I graduated. I was happy I graduated high school, because people were like doubting that I would, because I was pregnant, but I did anyways. But I never really thought about how it affected me as a person today. I think that it hasn't really settled with me. Like, I haven't really healed completely from it. I feel like it makes me a guarded person, because sometimes I don't even trust myself with decisions. Since then, I have reconciled with my baby's father, and I wish to God I could take that back. The adoptive parents, they don't really communicate with us for lots of reasons, mainly because they're scared that we're gonna like find out where they live, and you know, they don't want to jeopardize any developmental stages that my son is currently at, which I do understand. So as of now, it's a closed adoption. I don't know. Now he's like around 10 or 11, and I think it still fucks me up. I don't even know how to have children, like how to want to have children. And I'm always in these places of emptiness. I've been to counseling. Heck, I've been a counselor myself. And I kind of feel like I've moved past it in some ways, but then it always comes back to me when I see like little children, those children of my peers, and it just makes me sad sometimes. And resentful for what I put my baby father through. Like, I still, to this day, we had this bond because of that actually, what I felt like, it ruined a marriage that I was in. I was married at the time. I mean, I was married at a time when I was in the military, and I still had those ties to my baby father. Like, I owed him something. I felt like our chapter wasn't closed because of having gone through that adoption process and me leaving him out of it. I feel like I owed him something. So while I was married, I was unfaithful with him. I don't know, I just felt like I owed him a piece of me, which is so like stupid. At the same time, I made a lot of dumb decisions, but this was like icing on the cake. So not only did I hurt a man that I felt like I loved but didn't know how to love, if that makes sense, which was the guy that I was married to, because I had an unclosed chapter with my baby's father. So there again, it was just me. I just couldn't trust myself with anything. Like, still to this day, I'm so lost in so many ways. And I don't know if that, I feel like it's a part, the adoption was a part of it, but it wasn't entirely why I feel lost today. But it's just a painful hurt that I feel like from time to time I do cry about. I like get really angry when my mom asks about him, but I never share that. I don't know, but it just goes to show you how, you know, one decision can literally wreak havoc on your life for years if you don't seek forgiveness in yourself, you know, and talk about it openly, even if it's just with yourself, or even if you need a professional. But if you fail to close one chapter, it can really, really spill over and poison a lot of other things. Even today, I'm not even sure in my own relationship. I'm like, will I ever have kids, you know? There's so many thoughts about it, but I could just ramble on and on and on about how this event has affected my life, but I won't. But I just wanted to give you guys a little piece of what's on my mind today, and practice safe sex if you're a teenager, even though I know nobody's doing that shit. But, you know, hey, learn from me. Be safe, protect your heart, forgive yourself, love yourself, and all that good stuff. Okay, bye.